They show up, they stay, they do all the things a relationship is supposed to look like from the outside. The dinners, the messages, the plans, the effort. But somewhere inside, quietly and privately, they know the truth. They are not in love, and they stay anyway. This is one of the most common and least talked about dynamics in modern relationships. People who commit to someone they do not fully feel for, and the psychological reasons behind it that are far more complex than simply calling it selfishness. Today, we are going inside that psychology, not to judge it, to understand it. Part 1. The comfort trap. The first and most common reason people stay in relationships without love is comfort, and not in the way most people think. It is not just physical comfort or financial stability, though those can be factors. It is emotional comfort, the comfort of not being alone, the comfort of a familiar routine, the comfort of having someone who knows your coffee order and your bad days, and the particular way you need to be spoken to when everything feels like too much. Human beings are wired to attach. The same neurological systems that make us fall in love also make us bond to consistency, to familiarity, to anything that signals safety, even when love itself is absent. Psychologists call this attachment without romantic love, and it is far more common than anyone admits. The person in this dynamic is not lying about their feelings. They are genuinely attached. They genuinely care. They simply mistake the warmth of attachment for the depth of love, and by the time they realize the difference, leaving feels like tearing something rather than releasing it. Part 2. The fear underneath. Peel back almost every relationship that exists without love at its center, and you will find fear underneath it. Fear of being alone, fear of starting over, fear of hurting someone and carrying that weight, fear of the version of themselves that exists outside of a relationship, the single, untethered version that has to face life without the structure of a partnership holding things in place. This fear is rarely acknowledged directly. It does not announce itself as fear. It arrives disguised as reasons. They tell themselves the timing is not right to leave. They tell themselves things might deepen. They tell themselves that love is a decision, not just a feeling, and that choosing to stay is itself a form of love. Some of these things contain truth, but when those narratives are primarily serving to avoid facing something uncomfortable, they stop being wisdom and start being avoidance. Fear is one of the most powerful forces in human decision-making precisely because it disguises itself so convincingly as logic. Part 3. What they offer instead of love. Here's what makes this psychology genuinely complicated. The person who stays in a relationship without love is not always withholding. In many cases, they are giving everything they have: consistency, loyalty, effort, presence, care. The relationship doesn't feel hollow from the inside because it isn't hollow. It's full. It's just full of something other than what the other person may be hoping for. Some people are extraordinarily good at building a life with someone without ever fully crossing into romantic love. They're dependable, they show up, they're kind in all the ordinary ways that make a day livable. And the person on the receiving end of all of that often can't name what is missing. They just sense it, a distance that never quite closes, a depth that is offered everywhere except the one place they most need it. The tragedy of this dynamic is not cruelty. It is that genuine care and genuine love are not the same thing, even when they look identical from the outside. Part 4. The person on the other side. It would be incomplete to talk about this psychology without acknowledging the person being loved without being loved back. They often know, not consciously, not in a way they can articulate or prove, but the body keeps a record of what the mind refuses to confirm. They feel the slight asymmetry, the moments where their emotional reach goes just a little further than the other person's, the warmth that is always present but never quite becomes fire. Many of these people stay too, because the care they receive is real, even if the love is not, because leaving something real for the hope of something deeper requires a courage that is genuinely hard to access when what you have is comfortable and kind and almost enough. This is how two people can spend years in a relationship that is sincere on every level except the one that matters most, and both of them sense the gap without either of them finding the words to name it first. Understanding this psychology does not make it easier, but it makes it honest. People who date someone they do not love are not always villains in the story. They are often people who are scared, attached, and genuinely trying in the only way they currently know how. The question this psychology ultimately asks of the person who stays without love and the person who accepts it is the same question. What are you settling for, and why? And more importantly, what would it take for you to stop? Drop a comment below. I want to know what you think is the hardest part of this dynamic to walk away from. I read everything.